Welcome, everyone. We'll begin our webinar this morning. Thank you for attending. This webinar is the e-business de-risk the move to cloud. This is a presentation that will be given by myself, Rick Anthony, Vice President of the West Coast for Evosys, and also providing the webinar details will be Snehal, and he will be delivering the majority of this presentation, and he is our VP here as well, in charge of customer success. So this, in putting together this presentation, we had to look at, the climate out there, but also the install base around a business. And we understand that there is a level of individuals and companies out there that have already made the change, but there's a number that are still considering the change. And a lot of the consideration is around benefit realization and how do we do it? How do we de-risk this project? So through our many implementations of bringing customers, on-premise customers like eBusiness to cloud, we've developed a methodology, we've developed some key tooling, and we'll be discussing those on how they're able to de-risk projects, but also allow you, more importantly, to get the benefit realization from your project. So our content today we'll be discussing is a little bit about us to understand why we're giving this presentation, and then Snehal will jump into our Glide program for eBusiness and the things that we've learned along the way as well. So let's go to the next slide, please. So about Evosys. So here's a snapshot. I don't want to spend too much time on this, as I think everybody's here for the content, but again, this is just allowing you to understand why we're speaking about this. So Evosys, we have globally well over 1,000 Oracle Cloud customers. In the last 12 months alone, we've taken 60 customers to Oracle Cloud and had 50 go lives during that period. We are global, so we're able to work with other countries and with our presence in other countries. We are well engaged in 30 now. As far as our consultants, we have over 1,200 consultants, and they're permanent consultants. They're not contractors. These are people that are on our permanent staff. And that is real key in understanding the continuity when working with us. We work in all the 7 pillars within Oracle. So that is the supply chain, that's ERP, EPM, HCM, PaaS. So there, within all areas of Oracle, we have the expertise, and that's all we do is Oracle. And that's our dedication and our focus. With on-premise customers, we've had well over 80 on-premise customers we've taken to cloud, and that would include Hyperion, that would include EBS, PeopleSoft, and SAP. We've developed these programs to also work with SAP. So in these areas below here, we're going to be looking at how we've delivered customer success through benefit realization, and how we've actually been able to provide KPIs to our customers so they can measure those success, and how we're also able to de-risk a number of these projects with a lot of our methodology, but our value-based delivery. So if we can go to the next slide, please. So with the Gartner report, they've ranked Evosys as one of the #1 niche players for Oracle on-premise to cloud transformations, and #1 in customer satisfaction. And this is real key and important to understand how we are successful and why we are successful. Is we work very closely with our customers and in understanding what good looks like to them, and understanding that that is going to be our deliverable at the end of this project. So we're ranked #1 in customer satisfaction, and when companies engage with us, we oftentimes, when they ask for references, we give them a list of who actually they want to speak to. It gives them the options of understanding we also have your industry expertise, but we also have the ability to understand the product as well. Next slide, please. So talking about our awards in this year, at Oracle. Actually, that would have been last year at Oracle Open World. We won 3 awards, one for Global Partner of the Year for HCM, and individual recognition and awards for ERP as well. Year before last, we also won ERP Global Partner of the Year. And there's a small glimpse of the awards we've won over the last few years, which again, just gives you an understanding of where our experience is and our credibility in giving a presentation today. Next slide, please. So we'll be sending out this deck to those attendees as part of next step. And in that, you'll be able to click on these videos and see video of our customers where we've taken them from ERP, e-business to cloud. And on the right there is just a quick snapshot of customers we've taken to cloud that were EBS as well. Next slide. And now I will turn this over to Snehal. So Snehal, thank you. And please, if you have any questions during the session, please write them in, and then we'll answer those at the end. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rick. Good morning, everyone. So let's jump right away on Evosys Glide program for e-business suite. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this slide. We all know why we have to move or transform from on-premise to cloud application. Just wanted to quickly set the stage. The pace of change is increasing. The expectation from business, from employees, from customers are getting higher and higher in terms of the compliance, security, getting right talent on time. The competition is getting tough. The expectation of innovation is getting very higher. So the expectation is huge, and the on-premise application like e-business suite is not able to deliver the expectation at right time. There are a number of constraints in terms of old IT infrastructures. There is a huge data in EBS, but probably we are not able to get the right output in terms of analytics at right time. So there is a definite need of planning a cloud transformation. I'm sure all of you agree to that. So let me introduce Evosys Glide program. Evosys Glide program is applicable for e-business suite, PeopleSoft, and SAP customers, as Rick has mentioned. Today we are going to focus on EBS specifically. Evosys Glide is a combination of number of approaches and the tools which Evosys have developed. The easy example could be the data migration tool. I'm going to talk about it in detail. The tool which helps customer to extract information from EBS, do a transformation, and then also migrate the data in Oracle Cloud application. We'll go in further details, but there are number of such tools which Evosys has created, and that's how we define the Evosys Glide program. It obviously improves the quality as part of your transformation journey, and it also saves your efforts in terms of obviously the duration, in terms of the price, and in terms of your organization effort also. It helps you to save a lot of efforts, not just on technical side of the transformation, but also on the functional or the business side of the transformation, because Evosys Glide program and Evosys has rich experience both in e-business suite and also on Oracle Cloud application. The innovation, be it analytics, be it digital assistants, or IoT, or the robotic process automation, is part of Evosys Glide program. We do not create a separate phase to implement innovations. It is essential and core part of our Glide program, and I'm going to talk about it as well. The Evosys Glide program is suitable for different situation of customers. whether you have done a lot of custom extensions or you have clear goal or objective. It is available and very much suitable for all kind of customers. Like Rick has mentioned, we have used the Glide program over 80 plus customers globally, and they have got a lot of benefits out of. So that's in very brief. Let's do a deep dive. The Evosys Glide program, and we call it de-risk your move to cloud transformation, has 5 different stages. You may not want to use all the stage, but let me give you a brief, and then we will go in detail of each and every stage, and I'll explain you how do we deliver, and what kind of benefits you can expect. Let me start with describing some of situation, and I'm sure you will be able to correlate my examples. So if you are a e-business with customer, and if you believe that your EBS implementation is pretty complex in terms of lot of customization you have done, you have implemented a lot of extensions, and you are concerned how the transformation is going to happen, whether I'm going to lose my customization. If I lose my customization, do I have enough features to cover that when I go to Oracle Cloud application? If that's your situation, then the assessment is a right way to start. The assessment is free of cost, a very easy and quick exercise which Evosys does. We have a toolkit which we have created, which we send to our customer, and you have to execute the toolkit in your test environment. It gives us critical information about your e-business suite implementation, and then we give you a quick report. It does not take more than 2-3 days of time from starting to end, but it's a good starting step, and I'm going to go in further details on the assessment. The second situation could be you are very clear what do you expect out of Oracle Cloud application. You have a clear vision to adopt the best practices which Oracle Cloud offers. Then for you, it is advisable to start with the 4th stage directly, which is start with the implementation, put up a detailed project plan, use Evosys implementation approach, which we have used over 1,000 plus, and get your transformation done. But while you do that, if you believe that you want to improve some of your critical aspect, for an example, chart of account, or you want to improve your HR organization structure, so and so forth, then we have a advisory services for enhancement also, where we spend enough time before customer kick off the cloud transformation, and we try and help you to improve your structure or business processes. So in that situation, you may want to combine the advisory services alongside Evosys implementation methodology. The third situation could be, that you have to go from on-premise to cloud. You don't know when, and you have to prove to your top management or your CFO, CEO, and you want to have a clear business case on your ROI. You are spending, let's say, $5 million on Evosys and Oracle, and what is that you are going to go when you go on cloud application? So if you are looking for creation of a business case, then Evosys Insight is the right way to start, and we are going to do a deep dive. I'll explain what is Evosys Insight and how it is different and how it helps you to create your clear-cut business case. So the point is, Evosys Glide program is suitable and applicable for different situation of e-business with customer, and we do not always start from assessment. We try and understand your peculiar situation and try and recommend how you should leverage the Evosys Glide program. So with that, let's go in detail one by one and talk about it. The first stage is assessment. As I have mentioned, it's a toolkit which Evosys has created, number of scripts and some other aspect. It's a free of cost program from Evosys. This can be done remotely, so very limited effort, but I would say a fantastic first step. we send our tool to the customer. You can execute it in your production or test instance. We don't extract any data. It is more of a statistical uh, extraction. So the assessment report would look like, it will give you a current landscape snapshot in terms of what modules you are using, in what detail you are using, what is your e-business suite version, what is your database version, so and so forth. If you are a global customer, it will also get you all the information like what language you are using, so and so forth. It gets you user and application statistics. It will also get the transaction analysis in terms of what kind of transactions you are using, what is the volume, so and so forth. Very importantly, it will get all the custom extension details, the reports, interface, your extensions, the workflows, so and so forth. And not just the count, it will also give us little more insight, what kind of custom forms you have created, what kind of personalization you have done. So we will really get a nice understanding about your e-business suite implementation without asking you a single question. So that's the beauty of the assessment tool. It will also get us the details about the key masters and transactional data volume. Like I have mentioned, it's free of cost. We deliver a report once the output is shared with Evosys, and the report would have a lot of interesting analysis around your e-business suite application. So let me show you some more examples.
And before we do that, Snehal, and one of the areas, again, we want to focus on is how we de-risk. And oftentimes understanding what your go-to is going to look like, but also understanding what your current state is, the Chemleys that you've implemented into your instance. Those are all going to be key factors in understanding your risk and measuring your risk as you move forward. So an assessment tool like this is the beginning and understanding of how you're going to move forward, how we start to de-risk that project and moving forward. So it's really key in understanding that, but it also, as Snehal said a number of times today, is that it is free of cost, and it's an exercise that should be the beginning stages of your consideration to move to cloud. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. All right, so let's carry on. These are a number of examples. So you will get a report, and we'll also have information like this. For an example, in e-business suite financials GL, you are using 24 features of e-business suite. Just as an example, it will list down the feature. We are going to do a mapping whether you get all the features. Obviously you will get all the features of GL in cloud financials, plus what are the additional features you should leverage. So we will try and be specific to your situation. So we conduct a lot of analysis while we deliver the assessment report. Similar way, the examples around accounts payable, invoice imaging is one of the important expectations. If you are leveraging accounts payable, so we will get you all kind of analysis. For purchasing, for core HR and absence management. So all the modules you are using on e-business suite, we are going to do analysis at the feature level. So you are really going to get a lot of insight. Plus, you will also start getting a starting glimpse, how are you going to use them in cloud application, what extra or what are the additional features you will get, as part of your cloud transformation. And also remember, at this stage, we are not going to get into a detailed discovery discussion. We are not going to consume a lot of time from yourself and your business. This is without asking you any question. So I believe it's really a great starting point. The assessment report, like I have mentioned, would also have information about your technical object and customization. I know I have covered this, but just wanted to re-emphasize, we are not trying to get a count of your custom forms. That's not useful. We are not going to get a count of your personalization. We will try and extract, what are specifics you have done, in terms of personalization and in terms of other customization. That really gives us a very useful insight to have a further conversation with you on your transformation journey. And obviously it gives you a nice quick report. So that's assessment. Just to summarize, uh, it is suitable for a customer if you have done good number of customization extension on your EBS. It's nice and easy, 2 to 4 days of exercise, which we conduct remotely and obviously free of cost. All right, so that's assessment. Let's talk more interesting and fun stuff now. So Evosys Insight. just to remind again, Evosys Insight is applicable or suitable for a customer who is looking for a creation of a business case, who wants to know what is return on investment. I'm spending $5 million US, tell me what directly and indirectly I'm going to get, let's say after 1 year of my go live or couple of years of go live. So it helps you to create a business case. Generally speaking, it is 3 to 4 weeks of program where we come on site, spend about 5 days with your business, with your finance office, with your HR team, with your IT team, with your supply chain team, as appropriate. We get into a detailed workshop, try and understand, what is your strategic objective around your enterprise application, and try and identify very specific KPIs, and then we put our implementation plan and implementation journey based out of the KPI. Normally, we categorize these KPIs around process improvements or process optimization, the system adoption, the information output, audit and compliance. We also have a measurement tool, and I'm going to show you a glimpse to measure whether you have got the KPI after go live. And I believe that is very, very important. Creating and defining KPI, probably you may argue that everyone is doing that, what new you are doing. I agree to that. But we have a measurement tool which we deploy in your cloud environment. And after go live, your CFO, your CHRO, your IT team, your CEO desk will be able to see on real-time basis whether you are getting success on the KPI, what is the progress, and what are the areas you want to fix. We don't stop there. We also tie some of our payment terms to the realization of this KPI, meaning our final payment milestone is not at go live. Let's say if we mutually agree that we want to review whether you got the benefit of KPI or not after 6 or 9 months of time post go live, we will keep some money on the table. So we are really talking about keeping our skin in the game. Let's move further. So let me give you an example. How do we do our insight? Like I said, it's on-site plus remote exercise. We come on site and have a detailed workshop. Try and understand, what is your current scenarios? What do you expect? What are your strategic goals? What are your problems? Be it you want to improve the self-service capabilities and have an effective utilization of system with your cloud transformation. You want to improve the efficiency of your financial processes. So we try and identify the core objectives or what are your key problem statements and you want to solve as part of your cloud transformation. Once that's done, then we go in further details. So let's pick up improve the finance process efficiency as one of the example, and then we create number of KPIs. We try and be very specific. We obviously have a KPI library for finance, supply chain, HCM, so and so forth, but we try and be very specific to your situation. So these are number of KPIs for an example we have identified, which will help you to improve your financial efficiency with Oracle Cloud application. Let's take an example of reduction in cycle time for invoice creation. So this is a sample case, and this is really interesting. So that's the KPI which we have identified together, and then we will create the baseline or the benchmark. For an example, currently it is taking about 14 hours of time for invoice creation, and your target is to reduce the 14 hours to 8 hours of time. So that is what we agree. We put this in our statement of work. We also create number of tasks which will have a mutual ownership on you and on Evosys as well. And then we tie the task in our implementation work plan. We don't do cloud transformation on a traditional way, start project, do CRP, do training, do data migration, create custom extensions and go live. We don't do that. We tailor our implementation plan considering the achievement of KPI is core, and that's how we execute our project. I was talking about the measurement tool. So this is just an example of our measurement tool. We have used Oracle Analytics. You don't need any additional subscription. Once you are live, we will deploy this tool, and this tool covers the analysis or the dashboards around finance, supply chain, and HCM. We have created about 150 dashboards. This dashboards helps you to measure whether you get a success out of your KPI or not. And I believe that is really, really important, because from our experience, we have seen, customer have created clear KPI, but they fail to measure. They don't know whether they are doing good, they are doing bad, and if they are doing bad, how can they improve? And this, we think, is a great, great value addition. We don't charge anything extra to deploy this tool. This is part of our methodology.
And this is really key in understanding benefit realization, is understanding, again, what good looks like. So using these KPI measurement tools, and these are tools, again, that are developed for how you measure success for your enterprise application. We can customize these KPIs. We have a pool of other dashboards you can use, as Snehal said. But again, it's understanding how you measure success. And most of you on the call have been working with EBS, and EBS implementation, as you know, is a lengthy process. And it's been my experience in 23 years of working with Oracle applications. Everybody creates the KPIs they want to attain, and 3/4 of the way through, you just want your life back. You just want to get on, and you've forgotten about those KPIs. And SaaS is very different. It's a lot faster to implement, but also with these tools and dashboards, you can measure those KPIs. So it is a different mindset, but again, it goes towards that benefit realization. How do you build that business case? And this is all part of that insight. So I'll back to you now, Snehal.
Thanks, Rick. So let's talk about another use case around Evosys Insight. So the second KPI, which we have mutually identified for an example, is to promote the self-service around purchasing. And we have obviously defined the benchmarks or the baseline, agreed the mutual ownership task, so on and so forth. And we thought that it is important where you utilize digital assistants, as part of promoting the self-service use, not just for purchasing, but for also HCM. We will recommend and we will implement this as part of your transformation journey. And this is something, which I believe is very, very important. Like I said, innovation is not phase 2 or phase 3 for us. Innovation is part of your cloud transformation. If you are not getting your analytics from day one, if you are not getting new stuff from day one after go live, and if you still have to wait for 6 to 12 months of time, it's no fun. So while we get our Evosys Insight program done, we will also plan all of this as part of your implementation program and implementation journey. And I believe that is really, really important. This helps you to get your benefit realization, not just immediately after go live, but it also helps you to keep getting benefit on your continuous basis. So it's not just about covering risk, it's also about getting the benefit realization immediately, and also to ensure that you get benefit on a continuous basis. There are more examples which I and Rick are going to give you, but that's about Evosys Insight. Just to recap, so Evosys Insight is stage 2. part of Evosys Glide program. It is useful for customer if you are looking for building the ROI case. It's about 3 to 4 weeks of exercise. If you have a smaller footprint, it can be done in couple of weeks of time also. We ideally want to spend about a week on site with you, trying to understand your strategic goals, trying to understand your problems, what problems you want to solve out of cloud transformation. We identify the KPI. We identify how are we going to achieve the KPI, and then we draw our implementation plan accordingly. We obviously monitor every week, every month, what is the progress as part of transformation for achieving those KPI. So that's Evosys Insight, and let's move on. The third stage is advisory services. So for Evosys, the consulting is very, very important. We do not want to stay your technology partner. We do not want to just move you from e-business suite to Oracle Cloud application. But as part of process, we do number of consulting and strictly around enterprise application. For an example, we have a customer, we are talking in Chicago area. They are a EBS customer, and they said that we want to improve our chart of account. We think it's a great opportunity while we are going on cloud application. Can you help us to do that? We said absolutely. We have included consulting of chart of account as part of our implementation plan. So before we have kicked off, we have started talking about what changes you want to bring in your chart of account. So we design your implementation or your transformation journey in a way you get enough time to improve on your structure or on your processes. We will also bring experts. We have experts, certified accountants. We have industry experts around varieties of industries. Healthcare, higher education, engineering and construction, manufacturing, retail, hospitality, so on and so forth. The expert would come and sit with you and help you to improve on your structure, your business processes. We have a very interestingly a customer in hospitality, and CFO said, I'm very confident that transformation is going to go well. My interest is analytics and reports. My interest is output. Can you define before you start the project what output I'm going to get? And then I will help you to change my process, and I will convince my team that you should change your process, even if it is little complicated, because output is important for the organization. That is going to drive my decision support system. And we did that. So we have created number of KPIs, drivers, analytics, and we agreed that this is what you are going to get. And we have executed the transformation journey, keeping the analytics and reports and very specific in our mind. So I believe this is also a very important exercise, as part of your transformation. This is just an example, very simple example. On left side in blue, the structure in e-business suite. I'm sure you will recognize the business group and legal entity, operating unit, so on and so forth. And then we will recommend, when you go from EBS to cloud, what changes you should do. So, you have 15 ledgers, should reduce your ledger to half for a specific reason. It will give you more efficiency, and you will not compromise on your reporting, your compliance, so on and so forth. There are obviously new and better concept in Oracle Cloud application. For an example, business unit will get you all this exposure early enough so that you participate alongside Evosys designing your solution, part of the transformation. And this is just a very simple example. All right, great. So we are done with assessment. We have also spoken about Evosys Insight. We have briefly touched around the Evosys advisory services. Once all of this is done, once you are ready to kick off your transformation program, we leverage Evosys implementation methodology, which is very well proven. We have used this over 1,000+ customers in North America and globally as well. We obviously this is obviously been inspired from Oracle Unified methodology, but we have injected number of learnings, which we had in past. I'm not going to go in great details. Just want to highlight a very specific and unique points. The first and foremost, we believe the readiness is very, very important. Before even you kick off the project, we get into a readiness workshop immediately after you sign contract with us. We do not wait for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks of time. We do a readiness call immediately. We have a readiness checklist. We help you to be ready for your transformation, and we really spend enough time. It's not just one phone call. We try and understand your situation, and we try and be very specific to ensure that once you start your transformation, we do not have a major roadblock, and we have to keep project on hold, or you would need extra time in preparing your data or improving your chart of accounts and so forth. We believe specifically for e-business suite customer, and probably for all kind of on-premise to cloud transformation journey, it is very important to work on data collection and data transformation and third-party integration early enough. So we give enough importance and emphasize for data integration and custom extension as part of our readiness. Moving on, we obviously share best practices, and that is why you want to move on cloud application. We don't ask you obviously what is that you are looking for. We are EBS expert, we are cloud expert. We will study your EBS environment in detail, not with an intention to copy what you have done on EBS and just copy on cloud application, but to have enough background and enough understanding of your situation. And then we give you best practice workshop. So that's immediately after kicking off project. We bring in a lot of industry expertise. We also share our experience, how other organization in your industry are leveraging cloud application. And once that's done, then we will do a fit gap analysis. So it's going to be a product enabled implementation. We will not ask you what's your requirement. Rather, we would recommend this is what you should do, and then we will get your feedback. So that's again important. Moving on, and I'm just highlighting important points. Iterative way of implementing cloud application is very, very important. You can't finalize your solution design document, go back and build, and come after a couple of months and say, all right, this is what you told me and this is what I have done. It's not efficient. And we don't encourage to do that. We get into a lot of formal and informal workshop to demonstrate that this is what you told me in terms of your requirement, and this is how I have configured. Do you have additional feedback to give? Do you want to correct what you told me? And this way you get a lot of exposure on application. For us, knowledge transfer is not just couple of weeks of exercise, where we do a classroom training. We definitely do that, but for us, knowledge transfer happens from day one. So iterative workshop is another key aspect of Evosys implementation approach. We obviously give enough emphasis on system integration testing and training and so on and so forth. I'm not highlighting those points, but these are some of the unique aspect which I wanted to highlight as part of Evosys implementation methodology. Just to highlight this one more time, our knowledge transfer program is not just for key user how to use the application, but we give knowledge transfer to the IT team or your system admin team, how to maintain the application, how to modify basic configuration in terms of security, in terms of approvals, so on and so forth. We also give you a detailed training on creation of new reports, modifying existing reports. So our knowledge transfer is very, very robust and detailed. With that, let's move on. I know we have about 16 more minutes. So data migration tool, this is a proprietary tool which Evosys have developed. this is not a technical tool. It has front end pages also. So if you are a business user, you can use Evosys data migration tool and extract information from your e-business suite environment, transform. So transformation could be a functional transformation or a technical transformation. So the Evosys data migration tool helps you to transform your data, and it really saves a lot of efforts. It also brings a lot of efficiency, and then ultimately you can load the data in cloud application. So you can save huge effort in terms of your data transformation and loading from your e-business suite to cloud application. Again, we don't charge extra. This is part of Evosys Cloud program. All of it, which we are talking today, is part of Evosys Cloud program, and this is part of our methodology.
And this is really important to understand on the tooling like this, is that this tooling is going to do one of two things. One, it's going to save you time and effort to bring the data over, because one of the, I give on a global basis seminars and workshops on why ERP implementations fail, and the part of the strategic move is understanding the data migration, understanding the complexities around that. Because we built these tooling, that is going to save you time and in turn save you money, and that's important to understand. But also how we de-risk, because you've got these migration tools, you'll be able to understand what data is coming over, what's not coming over, and that will help to de-risk the project as well.
So thanks Rick, if you're planning for cleaning your data, for an example, you want to standardize your job title or position title across different entities, different countries, this is an opportunity. This tool will help you to clean your data also. So it's not just about technical transformation, but you can actually do a business transformation in terms of data cleaning. It's a fantastic way of executing your long plan of cleaning your data. And this tool is applicable for all different functions, finance, supply chain, and human capital management. I know Rick has covered some of it. It brings automation, it saves your time and also brings a lot of optimization. So that's about the data migration tool. All right, let's talk about support services. So we have covered assessment, insight. We have also spoken about the advisory services, and we have covered Evosys implementation methodology. I'm sure you must have observed that how Evosys Glide program helps you to de-risk your transformation. It helps you to get your benefit from day one, and it also ensure that you keep getting your benefit ongoing basis. So Evosys support services is one of the example. We do not deliver our post go live support in a very routine or a traditional way, meaning solving your technical problems, creating new custom reports, fixing your bugs, but we bring a lot of enhancement and improvement. So our focus on the support services is to basically how you can on a daily basis improve your implementation, be it delivering analytics, be it implementing digital assistants, be it enabling new features, be it monitoring what you get quarterly as part of Oracle updates and how you can enable new feature so that your employee, your manager, and your HR, finance, and supply chain team, plus your executive teams continuously get benefits out of Oracle Cloud application. So we have a robust managed services which helps you to cost effectively manage your implementation once you are live. And these are some of the examples. We have created number of analytics in all areas. So we have a huge library. We don't take months and weeks of time to implement analytics. It's there and we deploy right away in couple of hours of time. You'll be able to analyze your data, and then we can obviously bring improvements as we progress. Before I jump in and talk about Hyperion to cloud very quickly, Rick, do you want to add anything?
No, this is very good. Thank you.
That's great. So we thought that this could be an important subject as well. So we have a glide program if you are a Hyperion customer. So if you are using eBusiness Suite alongside Hyperion, or if you are just using Hyperion, we have created a glide program for such customer also. We obviously have two options specifically for Hyperion or enterprise performance management. One is lift and shift. So for an example, you think that your planning and budgeting on Hyperion is working perfectly fine. You just want to move from on-premise to cloud. We have a quick program. We can get you up and running from 4 to 6 weeks of time. We have also created Evosys migration tool, a utility which basically gets you from on-premise to cloud very quickly, very cost-efficient program. Now, on other side, if you're talking about full transformation, you think that you want to improve your planning and budgeting, you want to improve your consolidation, so and so forth, we can obviously offer a free assessment of your on-premise implementation, try and understand how you have done, recommends what improvements you can bring as part of your transformation, and put up a detailed program so that you get based out of Oracle Cloud application. So just to inform you that we have a glide program if you are a Hyperion customer as well, both lift and shift and full transformation. This is just an example, the utility which we have created for our Hyperion customer. All right, great. So I know we have spent good 35-40 minutes talking about Evosys glide program. I thought it is important to share our learnings. I have 2 more slides and then I'll hand it over to Rick. But these are the learnings which we had from our previous transformation program, and I think they are pretty important. Let me share them very quickly. You have to be careful. I've done eBusiness Suite all my life. I know it is very easy to customize. I know it is very easy to do extension, and people really debate whether you should do customization or you should really extend the application. I have my own opinion. If it helps your business, if you are sure what you are doing, why not? You must extend your application, and there are ways to extend your cloud application also. But you should be very careful in terms of your customization estimation when you go from eBusiness Suite to cloud. It is important to do a volume or load testing. You do not have to test cloud application per se, but your complex report, your complex third-party integrations, test with full data. Do not just test if your report is working fine. Load all the data and have a rigorous testing. It is really, really important. We have observed performance issue if you have not tested it in detail, and we have also observed people definitely do system integration testing and user acceptance testing, but they forgot to conduct a volume or load testing, and which is really, really critical. Obviously, I've spoken about custom extension should have a robust integration design. Do not assume your integrations are going to go lift and shift from your EBS to cloud. You may have to do number of changes in terms of design, in terms of your code, so and so forth. Have a right planning, have a right contract with your third party application, and have a right collaboration between your SI and your third party, so that you don't face issues with integration. We have observed if you are a decent size, do full 3 rounds of data migration and reconciliation, not 2, 3. By default, if you are not a payroll customer, you will get 2 instances when you subscribe Oracle Cloud application, one production and second non-production. You can still manage 3 rounds with 2 instances, but you need to plan it little smartly, and you may also have to be open to have 3rd instance for a shorter duration. Let's say if your implementation plan is, for an example, 9 months, then you might need third instance for 6 months of time. You really have to want to get into detail and plan your instance strategy as part of scope of work discussion with your partner. It is really, really important from our experience that you should have one common solution architect from your SI. Meaning, if you are doing financial, supply chain, and HCM, have one person from your SI overlooking everything, all the functions. It really helps. As part of your key user training, part of your end user training, have a comparison. So this is how you are doing EBS. This is how you are going to do transaction in cloud application. It is easy for them to learn. Obviously, you need SI who understand EBS. Very, very important. Utilize cloud to its best. No point in moving your transactional application from EBS to cloud. It's no fun. Plan to use mobile, plan to use analytics, chatbots, digital assistants from day one. Have your program plan created so that you get real benefit of cloud application immediately after go live. Please remember that cloud application comes with proven best practices. You should really, really analyze, evaluate, and then only plan to change the best practices if required. I know I have few more minutes, but this is again pretty important slide, and I'm trying to summarize. How do you de-risk your cloud transformation program? Do not try to copy business suite to cloud. That's not efficient. You should really plan transformation. Do not underestimate timeline. It's not lift and shift. If someone is telling you you can do lift and shift, that's not true. We have done number of EBS to cloud transformation. It is never lift and shift. You should really remember, and this is really, really important, if you have a IT or a project management background, the implementation approach for Oracle Cloud application is pretty different than the way you implement e-business suite. Do not try and spend huge amount of your energy in creating documents, talking about process flow. Try and leverage, try and see first what is there in cloud application, then try and change. Have an iterative way of implementing cloud. Start your knowledge transfer from day one. Plan using all new innovations from day one, so on and so forth. I'm sure you understand change management is critical. Please put enough emphasis. Have a clear way forward for your customization. What customization you can retire, what customization you cannot retire, how are you going to manage your extension. Have this discussion as part of your sales cycle. Do not wait to kick off your project. It is really, really important your SI understand EBS and you have a very clear plan for custom extension. Role security, very different. Your role responsibility, your menus, the concept has changed in cloud application. If you have done a complex role security in a business suite, please analyze and have right plan in cloud application. There are modules like learn or learning management. You want to compare and understand them pretty well, because there are a lot of new concepts and they do not work like e-business suite module works. So you really want to understand if they're fit, or you want to start basic as appropriate. The IT team role as part of cloud transformation is really critical, and there are a number of aspects, data, your reports, your custom extensions, so on and so forth. So please plan that very well. If you are doing coexistence, meaning you are keeping portion of your EBS and planning small with cloud application and integrating cloud application with EPS, be clear on responsibility. If you are going to manage EBS part of the integration, be clear with your SI. If you want your SI to manage, tell them upfront. I have mentioned this number of times. It is really important that your partner understand EBS, have a right phasing strategy. Collaboration is something which is really, really critical. So with that, I know we have about 4 or 5 minutes. Rick, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I hope you really got some benefit from today's presentation and understanding a little bit more about how to go through best practices when looking at a transformation or a move to cloud from from EBS. And one of the things that we realized is, through this whole process, that there's various steps to go through and various stages to consider. And the first step is understanding what you currently have. And that's that first step. That's that assessment tool that we recommend everybody run. Because let's be honest with each other, not everybody is ready to move to cloud. And the first step in understanding if your readiness is that assessment tool. And that is something we'll provide to you for free. So schedule a call with us and we'll have one of our SMEs get on the phone with you, help you run that script, and then we'll deliver that to you. Now, if you decide to move forward from there, then we can discuss the Insight program. And the Insight program is, as Snehela said, a depth program, oftentimes 2 to 4 weeks to understand and build that business case and build the KPIs so you can get the benefit realization. Now, there obviously is a minimal charge for that, but that will actually be applied forward in the event that you decide to move forward with the project, and that will be a complete refund of those services, and that's oftentimes what you have to do anyway. So let's first, as a next step, schedule a free assessment, and we'll figure out again if Insight is the right step for you, because as we said, you have to plan your cloud journey, you have to plan your readiness, you have to plan if it's a viable option for you. So call us, let us know. We'll be in touch with you as well. And also, for those of you that will be attending MBX, we will have a booth there. So please look for us there. And now I'll just refer to any questions. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to raise? Either you can raise your hand or write them down before we break. No? Okay. Well, thank you for your attendance. Thank you for joining us today. And you'll be receiving a copy of this presentation in an email and a follow-up from one of our representatives. Thank you again, and have a pleasant day.